So if the Commanders are going to blow it up this offseason, should you just blow it all the way up? And it may be blasphemous, but does that include letting Terry McLaurin go? You've got all that on your Daily Commanders update for 15 December with EB from the Junkies. Let's go. Greetings and salutations, and welcome to your Daily Commanders update here on Ref the District. I'm the Stoner. We are a proud member of the Believe Network. Got a fantastic show for you today. We've got EB from the Junkies. Not EB Eric Bickel, but the OG EB from the Junkies is going to join us here on Ref the District to talk all about the Commanders and what to look forward to in these last 4 games. And hey, we appreciate all of you being here. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. And if you're listening on the audio platform, make sure you leave a rating and review. We appreciate all the engagement on the Commanders. Let's get into it a little bit before we talk to EB. First of all, let's look at the injuries. It was announced today that B-Rob can't go. He's out for Sunday with that hamstring. Is that a concern? Absolutely. What does that mean? Jonathan Williams will probably get called up from the practice squad to be your third back. And look, when one man goes down and somebody else steps up, this is a big opportunity for Antonio Gibson, who's going to get the bulk of the carries. Now, he's had a pretty good year. Let's be honest. He's really stepped up from where we thought kind of he was going to get put aside with Brian Robinson. He's had a pretty darn good year. Now he's going to be the number 1 guy this week against the Rams. And then Chris Rodriguez, 6th-round draft pick. We're going to see probably a little bit more than him. He'll get those secondary carries, and then you might see a carry or 2 from Jonathan Williams. We'll see how that goes. Big opportunity for Antonio Gibson. He's a free agent. This contract year, he needs to step up these last 4 games if he wants to get paid. Probably not by the Commanders. He'll have a job, but is he going to get the big contract here in the offseason? We'll see. Big opportunity for him. All right, also James Smith-Williams, he's out, so we're not going to see him. He's been banged up here the last month or so. So you're going to see, again, a lot more of those rookies, KJ Henry, Andre Jones Jr., and we're going to see if they can kind of step up a little bit against this offensive line for the Rams, which is not great. They're not a great offensive line, especially up the middle, but we'll see what they can do. So James Smith-Williams is out. Curtis Hodges is going on short-term IR. He's tight end, hasn't seen the field. I don't think he's seen the field at all this year. He's mostly been a scratch on game day. But he's going to be on short-term IR. And then also, Sadiq Charles. He's been activated. He had his injury. He was out for his 4 weeks. Window open for him to return. He's back. He's not going to start. He's going to rotate in with Chris Paul there at left guard. And look, Chris Paul, we thought was going to be a kind of a breakout guy, but he has not been that guy. So Sadiq Charles is going to get some time. Again, he's up for a contract as well, so he needs to really show what he can do here this Sunday. But hey, it's going to be an awesome game this weekend. Really looking forward to it. Going to throw a few shekels on the game this weekend. I hope you are too. And if you are a better, then hey, look, all the major sports are in action this week. College football playoffs are ready to kick off. In about 9 days, New Year's Day, right, is the college football playoffs. Can't wait for that. And BetOnline is your number 1 destination for all your sports wagering info, including news for pro football, the NBA, upcoming fights, NHL games this season. Head to the website today to get into the action and see all the updated odds for the week. Remember to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. And the game is Sunday, Washington against the Rams. Looking forward to talking to Eric Bickel, EB, the OG EB here in town from the Sports Junkies. You can catch them every weekday, 6 to 10 a.m. on 106.7 The Fan, Monumental Sports on your TV, the Odyssey app, Richmond 980, I believe you can hear him down there, so you can catch him anywhere. Really excited. He's a huge Commanders fan his entire life, so we want to kind of get his ideas on Terry McLaurin, Sam Howell, of course, and really what he wants to see in these last 4 games. So let's get right to it without further ado. It's Eric Bickel, EB from the Junkies. All right, Eric from the Junkies, EB, the OG EB here in Washington, D.C. Thank you for joining us here on Ref the District. And Eric, before we kind of get into this stuff about Sam Howell and this weekend against the Rams and all that, I want to throw a hypothetical out at you. And that is, let's just say, and we know they're going to blow up everything in this offseason, but let's just say that also includes some of the veterans who have been a part of this building blocks for this team, the John Allens, Paynes, and Terry McLaurin. Your stance on Terry McLaurin is pretty well known, maybe not by our listeners and viewers, but would you be okay with the team either trading or releasing or whatever it is with Terry McLaurin? Would you be all right with that this offseason?
Well, I think what you're referring to is the fact that I've just said on air many, many times how much I love this guy. And, I wish he'd marry one of my daughters. Now, it turns out he's got a longtime girlfriend, I think.
Right.
So I don't want to mess with that. But, that's the kind of guy that I think he is. I think he's a spectacular human being, and I think he's a great football player. He's having a down year, but I don't know how much of that is on him. I don't know. I kind of have a suspicious feeling he's playing a little hurt this year, too, with that toe. I don't know. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody on this team is untouchable. I think we saw that when Chase and Montez were moved. If you can win 3 games with these guys, we can certainly win 3 games without them. So as much as I love Terry, it might be best for this organization to move on, acquire some more draft capital, whatever it is, and then give him a fresh start somewhere. Maybe he can go somewhere and just really thrive. Because the guy's approaching 30, right? And do we think we're going to win a Super Bowl here in the next year or 2? I don't know. Maybe we could do a 2-year turnaround. It'd be pretty miraculous.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate scenario that we're in right now, Stoner, is we're pretty bad in almost every position other than punter.
Yeah.
And I didn't think that to start the season. Well, I thought, we addressed our offensive line. We got these stud first round picks on the D line. We addressed the secondary in the draft, and all we really need maybe is another linebacker or something. No, it turns out we need a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything. We need a receiver help. Logan's getting along in the tooth as much as I think he's been great. Cole Turner's really kind of disappointed me. I don't know if that's his fault, but I really expected a breakthrough season from him. Bates is solid, but that's it. I think Gibby will probably move on. I just think we need help everywhere. I think we probably need 3 quality guys on the offensive line. It's shocking. It's shocking. And we could, if you can find a better quarterback than Howell, I'm for it. I think he's pretty good. But
let's talk about the whole Howell situation. And let's just assume, again, another hypothetical, that the season ended today and you had to make that decision on Sam Howell, if he's your future or not. But if you're sitting there at number 3, and let's say Drake May is available, and so is Fashanu, the guy, the fantastic tackle from Penn State, and Joe Alt, the tackle from Notre Dame, they're available. Which way are you going? You say, let's build with Sam and get some O-line help, or let's get this generational, in air quotes, quarterback?
It's impossible to know. I would probably lean personally towards drafting the tackle from Penn State, because even if you get some generational quarterback, we can ruin him if we don't protect him.
Yeah.
And they're also unknowns. What I like about Sam is I think his floor, we kind of know his floor, right? Which I think his floor is at a bare minimum spot starter. I think his floor is really probably just like, okay, let's say bottom tier. I think his ceiling might be mid-tier, maybe a 10 to 15 caliber quarterback, in a year or 2 or 3, right?
Sure.
I think that's pretty good. I would kill for that. Look, would I like to have the number 1 quarterback in the league? Sure. But we hype up these quarterback prospects every single year.
Yeah.
And what, 2/3 of them flop? Like, look what Bryce Young is doing this year. I'm not going to write him off. He might blossom. And nobody thought C.J. Stroud would have the kind of season he's having. It's just so unpredictable. The thing I like about Hal is not the unknown, it's the known. And I think we know he's pretty good. So I think I would lean towards offensive lineman, but you could probably sway me if you said this guy's the next Andrew Luck or whatever. Okay. All right, sure. I just want to win at this point. I just want to win.
Yeah, that's right. Well, speaking of winning, you got a game against the Rams here this Sunday afternoon. I know your stance on tanking / anti-tanking, but do you want to sit there this Sunday, 4:00, and watch the game and openly root for your team to lose?
I can't do it. So look, if they end up losing, great. I guess everybody will be happy, and maybe long term that's a better move. I don't know. But no, listen. I don't think it's much of an issue because I think we're going to lose. In fact, I think we're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
Because we've been through this before, and this is how regimes end here in DC. The coaches get a nice 3-year run. There's a 1 or 2 year bump, and then the bottom falls out.
Sure.
And I didn't see it coming. My buddy JP called it. He said, I think this could be one of those, the bottom falls out year. Then I was in complete denial, but he nailed it. And I mean, just look at the last 2 weeks. We've given up 90 points. I mean, and the schedule just is unrelenting, This Rams team just played a great game against the Ravens. Prior to that, they had won 3 in a row. Who's going to guard Nakua? Who's going to guard Cooper? I mean, we don't have guys to defend these guys. Who's going to defend Aaron Donald? We're like the most sacked quarterback in football. Are you kidding? It's literally going to take an act of God to win the game. So I think that's out of the equation. Really. And people laugh when I say this. I think the last 4 games is a referendum on Sam, on the growth and development, to use a phrase I've heard before, to the growth and development of Sam. And it's going to be difficult for him to shine in these last 4 games because, I don't think this team's going to quit. But I think when you go out, I think they're going to be headbutting each other and running out of the tunnel, and they're going to try to be fired up and stuff. But when you get punched in the face a couple times, knocked down, you're down 14-0. I mean, look what happened. In that Raiders game, look what happened to the Chargers on Thursday night. So I think things can snowball downhill pretty quickly. And I'm afraid that's what we're in for.
Yeah. All right. Well, and you guys have John Allen on your show every week. Sports Junkies, 106.7 The Fan, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 a.m. And you have him every week. And is it your opinion? Is he ready to go? Is he just had enough? He's just ready to get out of here.
I don't know. You kind of get that sense. I can't tell you any. I would be, I wouldn't tell you if he told me off there, but honestly, he didn't tell me off air. But if you read between the lines and you read his public statements, I think he's sick of losing. I take him at his word. He said it on our show. He just wants to win, and he doesn't have another 10 years left, right? What I mean, it comes up on these guys quick. So, to be honest with you, the team's probably not been absolutely thrilled with his production. I mean, I think the guy works hard, but I think they were probably hoping for a bigger season from him and Payne. So it might be another mutually beneficial deal, for them to move on. But listen, I think maybe in years past he might not have been as open to it, but I think at this point, I think John just wants to win, and I also think he wants another contract. And so his best opportunity, it might be to look elsewhere.
Somewhere else. All right, last question for you, EB. What's the score on Sunday? Give me your game prediction.
Hey, listen, I kind of ruined it by telling you earlier. I thought it was going to be ugly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I said today on a pregame thing that I recorded, something like 38-13 or something. I mean, I hope we could keep them under 40, but look, the Dolphins the other day, 2 weeks ago, they could have scored 60 on us if they didn't, shut it down basically in the second half. Yeah. So I don't remember feeling this down about the football team since Callahan was here. And that guy sprinted through the games, if you remember. Sure. I mean, it was reprehensible. It was just disgusting. And unfortunately, have you ever seen a coach look more packed in than Ron? I mean, he just looks like he can't wait to get out of here.
Yeah.
So,
he can't quit. He'll lose that money if he quits. So he's just got to.
No, he's not going to quit. He's kind of like quiet quitting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's just kind of like just done. And so I think the fan base is done. It's just an ugly, ugly situation. And the thing that's so frustrating is we had all this enthusiasm when Josh came into town in his group.
Sure.
And it lasted about 2 weeks.
It did. That first week was great, though. I mean, we had all that enthusiasm. We had Arizona in town. It was a sellout at home. It was packed with just Commanders fans. You beat Arizona. You're feeling good. And then, you beat Denver after that, but then it's all just downhill from there.
It's really sad.
Yeah. And that seems to happen. Yeah, it happens more often than not. But hey, look, let me just leave on this nice note here. A lot to look forward to this offseason with a whole new regime coming in, behind the scenes, coaching, new players are coming in. You got 100 million plus in salary cap. You got high draft picks. You got a bunch of draft picks. So things will be looking up once the season ends. We just got to get through these last 4 games.
Well, you're not going to want to hear my opinion, but I've been saying it a lot the last few weeks. So I think you got to just kind of be lucky. You got the scenario, you've laid it out, but now we have to execute, right? And
yeah,
I've been saying it. People are probably sick of it. And you're just a more optimistic person than me. But we got to get lucky on these hires. They got to get lucky on their hires. We got to get lucky in the draft. And there's so many things. That's why I think it's so difficult. I just feel so sort of helpless. That's one thing I've learned. Like, think about all these coaches that move around to other organizations, and sure, they have mild success, but they don't win Super Bowls in multiple places. The stars have to align. And so hopefully the stars align. Hopefully they do.
Hopefully it does. We're always going to be hopeful in the off season. We'll have plenty to look forward to with new players and coaches and all that.
I'm sure I'll pick them to win 10 next preseason. So
like we always do. That's Eric Bickel, EB from the Junkies, 106.7 The Fan, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. This has been brought to you by Bet Online. We appreciate you coming by, EB. Always appreciate your time here on Ref the District. And until next time, be a fan.